Hello everyone! I'm sorry that took a little bit longer than intended. I had a bit of technical difficulties, let's just say. But thank you all for tuning in, you legends. So I'm going to start tonight. Hello viewers. So feel free to I think you can comment here. I haven't used YouTube live yet. So this is a bit of a learning experience for me as well. But yeah, we're going to rock tonight. Day 3 in lockdown, I think it is. I'd like to call it the Rockdown today. My mom actually came up with that. So we are going to start with a very interesting number. Got the guitar, and I'm going to have the live band in the form of the laptop play with me. So let's please feel free to just let loose, get your drinks, have a bit of crack, and not like literal crack, like crack in the fun sense. And we're going to do some death yawn. Your eyes burning bright like fire in the night. Staring like a child who never knew their wild. I can see that you can read me. You're watching me. And you think that I'm yours truly, but you haven't seen anything. Till I'm giving you my dead, yeah. I'm giving you my dead, yeah. What is in your head? What is it you inside? 'Cause it's been just one small word that I have really said. Try to tell me you're trustworthy, but that's not what I think. And really, it's just creepy, still away from me. Oh, I'm giving you my dead, yeah. Oh, I'm giving you my dead, yeah. I'm giving you my dead, yeah. I'm giving you my dead, yeah. Yeah. For the very soul, I really want you to know. For the very soul, I really want you to go. Oh, I'm giving you my dead, yeah. Let's hear you singing it. I'm giving you my dead, yeah. 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 Let's hear death, yeah. I assume a couple of you people are singing along. I have my lovely Rob here, who will not want to be in the imagery at all. But I think there's some comments coming through. Thank you so much. Hey Philip, hey Ashley, hey Ryan, Katrina. Hello to Diane, my manager. Yes, thank you so much, guys. Thanks, Phil, Beren. Everybody, you're all legends. So I hope you enjoyed those songs. So that particular song to begin with. So I'm going to do another one for you, as you would expect at a live streaming gig. Sitting undercover, hypnotized by another one of those sweet, sweet, sweet lights. painted on your eyes, weaving down the wrong path. Little cracks, they start to get diamonds running out your way. From the grave that you dug, you know what I've had enough. 'Cause your tears, I won't catch them, no, I won't catch them, no. Let the fall take from your rays. Look at me now, look at me now. I can see through your disguise. I thought I knew, I thought I knew. So when it happened, look at me now, look at me now. Your bullets have this. Your footsteps calling, step you take, you match my brain. I am spinning around on your broken sound, and your bullet was up, move on for me now. My heart's disconnected from walk with your last stop, but you're not gonna get what you want. And your tears, I won't catch you, no, I won't catch you, no. If you don't take from your rays, look at me now, look at me now. I can see through your disguise. I thought I knew, I thought I knew. So in love with lies. Look at me now, look at me now. Your bullets have it. Usually at this point, we have the full band rocking out, so please, let's rock out together. Your tears, 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 your tears. I won't catch them now, I won't catch them now. It's a full straight from your eyes. Look at me now, look at me now. I can see through your disguise. And then I do what I do. So in love with lies. Look at me now, look at me now. I heard you in this. Woo! Yeah, baby! Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. Are you guys having fun? Just gonna look at the comments. Yeah. Oh, lovely. Some awesome, lovely comments. Hello, Whiplash XX. Yeah. So, hey, look. Thanks for tuning in. So this is the third gig on the live streaming series. It's been really fun, and actually, in some ways, it's kind of like the touring world in some ways, because each platform is completely different, and therefore they all have their own limitations and things. So I have to learn how the platform works the same way as I need to adapt to a stage at each venue I go to. So it's pretty cool to be on YouTube. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. So on that note, I'm gonna gently move this out of the road for a second. I'm gonna bring this into play, and I'm gonna plonk myself down at the keyboard. Probably doesn't look like that's what I'm doing, but I will tilt this down a little bit. Okay, so hair in my mouth. So if you've been tuning into the other shows so far, I've done a new kind of piano version of random songs off of PYRO. So in the first series, it was Let It Roll. Second gig, it was Running Against the Wall. And tonight, my friends, it's going to be a completely different version of Shake Shake. So hope you enjoy it. It might not be as dancey as what you're used to, but let's do it. Please just shake your bodies anyway. There's some people who do this when, see my body shake, shake. So feel free to do that if you want to. I've forgotten the first words. Oh yes, I remember. Can you give me something nice? something that makes it right before the levee breaks and my days become nights. Maybe something strong, something to push me along. This journey in my heart says I'm not where you belong. And so, if there's blood still left in me, then I'm feeling fine until my body shakes till the final break. I need a remedy. Is this where it's supposed to be? Yeah, feel my body shake, then feel my heart it aches. I need a remedy. Hey, is this where it's supposed to be? Yeah. So step inside my mind to where your body lies, like poison all the time, with love as your disguise. When I pull my gates to shut, they don't wanna let you out. Nothing guarding me against the corners of your smile. And so, if there's blood still left in me, then I'm feeling fine till my body shakes till the final break. I need a remedy. Is this where it's supposed to be? Yeah, I feel my body shake, and feel my heart it aches. I need a remedy. Hey, is this where it's supposed to be? Yeah. You don't know how I feel with you here. I don't heal. You don't know how I feel. You don't know how I feel with you here. I don't feel. You don't know how I feel. You don't know. Until my body shakes till the final break. I need a remedy. Is this where it's supposed to be? Yeah, feel my body shake. Feel my heart it aches. I need a remedy. Hey, is this where it's supposed to be? Yeah. Thank you. Did you enjoy that? Thank you for all the amazing feedback, guys. You legends. Woo! So yes, thank you very much. I see there's a few questions coming through, so I will get to the questions at the end, and we'll do like a little bit of a Q&A time. I'm going to give that to my wonderful assistant at the side there, so I'll need to readjust. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually just going to leave that there for a second. I'm going to take the microphone off. So the last time, I've just been kind of experimenting a little bit because some of the shows I've been able to do live now with a 3-piece. We've got Ellie Lucas on bass and Scott Hislop on drums. And sometimes that gives me a bit more freedom because beforehand I used to always kind of be on the mic and playing guitar. So it's kind of nice to just try a few song variations out with just the mic. So I don't really need the mic. It's just, as some of you have noticed before, it just gives a bit more of that kind of atmosphere. Hello. It's like ghosts coming through the room. I'm talking absolute crap, I can't stand. Anyway, so on that note, I wanted to introduce you to a new song. So I'll be doing a new song for every show. And this one is called Razorblades. I would love to know what you think of this one compared to the other ones, or just as a standalone track. Do you think it's a single? Do you think it's a keeper? Do you think it should go in the bin? Just let me know. Good for your dance as well. I see you walk around with your big blue eyes, holding that big smile, flipping out loose lights. I see your casualties falling down like trees, crumbled like dead leaves. Do you even see it? I ask for resistance against. Yeah, I ask for resistance against. Say what you will say. You're a razor blade without blade. Acting so hard. You're a razor blade. I see you're dancing. I wonder how you live with the pain you saw when it hits. You know it'll wreck your bones. I wonder how you dare keep them knuckles bare. Know your heart's not fair. You don't really care. I ask for resistance against. Yeah, I ask for resistance against. Say what you will say. You're a razor blade without blade. Acting so hard. You're a razor blade. Say what you will say. You're a razor blade without blade. Acting so hard. You're a razor blade. So live, we've got the drums up. Do you really like it, like it, like it? Do you really like it, like it, like it? Do you really like it, like it, like it? Do you really like it, like it? Say what you will say. You're a razor blade without blade. Acting so hard. You're a razor blade. Say what you will say. You're a razor blade without blade. Acting so hard. You're a razor blade. Woo! Thank you. So, how do you feel with that track, guys? Nice work. This is awesome. Great. You're all very happy. There's one person who is so shocked. I hope that's a good shocked, Alan. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. It's an absolute pleasure to be here tonight with you guys on lockdown. Tell me how you've been getting on. Because it can be quite difficult when you're working from home or just being kind of isolated all day. So yeah, if you want to share your thoughts about how you're getting on, if there's anything that you'd love to kind of, I don't know, gain inspiration on. Because I've got this motivational book right here. It's called the Itty Bitty Motivational Book. And in it is filled with words of wisdom to sort of give you inspiration for the day. So today, my kind of message to you would be, which one? Stop thinking so much and just get on with it. I probably should take a leaf out of that book right now, really, shouldn't I? So, are you guys ready to rock? So I was going to do a cover because some people have asked about me doing some covers. So I decided to go with someone with the Northern Irish band, the Undertones. And this is a song called Teenage Kicks, which you should all know. So please join in on the fun. we're going to get Teenage Kicks ready to rock. Yes, it's the same guitar. Just making sure. Sorry guys, here we go.
Teenage dreams so hard to beat. Every time she walks down the street, another girl in the neighborhood. When she was mine, she looked so good. I wanna hold her tight. Get teenage kicks right through the night. Gonna call her on the telephone. Have her over 'cause I'm all alone. I need excitement though I need it bad. And it's the best I've ever had. I wanna hold her tight. Get teenage kicks right through the night. Come on. Feel free to clap. Teenage dreams so hard to beat. Every time she walks down the street, another girl in the neighborhood. When she was mine, she looked so good. I wanna hold her tight and get teenage kicks right through the night. Oh, wanna call her on the telephone. Have her over 'cause I'm all alone. I need excitement, though I need it bad. It's the best I've ever had. I wanna hold her tight and get teenage kicks right through the night. Come on. Woo! Wanna hold her tight and get teenage kicks right through the night. Come on.
Woo! Yeah. So I played a few wrong notes there, but I did just learn it today. So that was a nice little surprise for you, hopefully. Now, this is the best guitar ever, by the way. It's a Fender Telecaster for anybody who is not sort of up on the old guitar front. But yeah, also I love the Strat as well. So thank you very much for all your amazing feedback. And yes, we were in the 60s for a second there. But yes, we're going to go back to REWS style now. I've got 2 more songs for you guys. Sorry, I keep on cutting my head off. Ooh. So this one is a song called Monsters. So this is the latest single that was released. And yeah, I hope you love it. And need to make sure that I'm getting some guitar sounds. So yes, feel free to just let loose, go with it. This is all about kind of ridding yourself of the inner critic and not criticizing yourself so much that you can't do the things that you really want to do. Because really life is supposed to be lived to the max, doing things that you love and spending it with positive people in your life. So weed out those people that shouldn't be in there. And to be honest, this sort of time of cleansing, so to speak, that was not really the right word, but yeah, maybe that'll this time away will help you to notice who are the good people in your life. So here we go.
God and slave to hysteria. Conscious stop every move. Does it leave you feeling dead? You're hanging out just like a noose. You beg, you borrow, you steal tomorrow. You're burning up your feet. Goes the war. You started your soul. Caught it and then you break the rules. Well, listen to those monsters in your head. hold ya, cooking quiet, I praise it for the hand that I dare you. Stop and push, feeling it, poison, water, armpit, oh, so stop on the feeling, so hollow, you're fueling up my blood. Well, listen to those monsters in your head. Why let them bleed? They're just monsters, they will crush you away. Yeah. Shut the door on those monsters when they pray. They will down the down. They're just monsters, they will crush you. All they want to do is fight. Love, gotta stop. I don't want to lose the fight. Why listen to those monsters in your head? Why let them lead? They're just monsters, they won't crush you. Drop them down on those monsters when they pray. They will tone it down. They're just monsters, they won't crush you. They're just monsters, they won't crush you, baby. Woo!
Thank you so much, guys. You have got such amazing feedback, and I'm glad you like it. Woohoo! So I will do the last song for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been such a pleasure to be spending another lovely live streaming evening with you. And thank you for tuning in. And yes, I hope you're all keeping safe and well and healthy. And also at 8 p.m, I believe that everybody should go outside their windows and do a big clap-a-thon for the NHS workers, all the people who are up the front there, making sure that everybody's okay. So I think that'll be a good thing to do. So in the meantime, this is my last song. I'll stick around for some chats and stuff afterwards, and also I'll show you some of the merch and things. So I've put some new merch up on the website, so rewsmusic.com/shop. And also, if you want to send any tips towards me, you don't have to, no pressure, but like a busking session, you can do so at paypal.me/rewsmusic. But please just enjoy the music. Here we go. This is the last song. Thanks, guys. Well, maybe I should probably press play. That probably should help. Let me just do this, and I'll do it right now. So here we go. The word is over. Can you guess what it is? Tell the story in your own words, but I don't speak your tongue a little heard. Your panic buttons are in your shirt, so focused that you are concerned. It seems those let's go. They attack every laugh when your back is turned. God, they go. Set your legs down, fly. Only pull on yourself, down, pull on yourself, no. Trade your points away. No more beating that down, no beating that down, no. Don't give up, only give in to the ones you trust. You got time to make amends, with that journey we must take. It seems close, will be close. Like track, pull back, my head is strong. What do they do? What do they do? What do they do? No. Send your wings and fly. Don't put it down, put it down, no. Trading points away. amazing comments and for you tuning in and everything. It's such a pleasure. So tell me how you feel about the kind of REWS online experience so far. Has it been good for you? Because it's been really good for me. How long have you been in the band for? So Alan Gothard, 55. So REWS kind of started in music residency about 5 years ago, maybe, or something. And I sort of have just since then I've kind of I took my time just kind of like writing all the songs. So I suppose since then, sorry, I said 2005, did I? But yes, it was a few years ago, and yeah, it just basically grew from there. So REWS has always been kind of, you know, it's about 6 years old basically. Because that's what year and model my guitar is. So year-wise, I would say it's probably about 2000. Why do you prefer the Telecaster, Ashley? Good question. I think it's just because it was the first one that I had learned how to play with. Funky. It's really good for two-piece bands, but it's also really good for big bands as well. And it just depends what kind of tone you're looking for. But it is, it's a real cracker. Although I'm really loving the Strat. So I got that Strat just before Christmas, as I've told you before. And the Strat's a bit more jangly, so that answers your question, Phil. The Strat tends to be a bit more, yeah, it's got a bit more of a jangle to it, whereas the Telecaster feels like it's got to be a bit more of a kind of crunch, kind of beef to it, if that makes sense. Crunchy beef. So, and let me see another question. Ashley, you've asked where did the name REWS come from and what is your songwriting process? So the first question, where did the name REWS come from? So it's a very funny story, actually. I was in London. I used to live in London. I now live in Bristol. But tonight's gig would have been in Bristol as well. And technically it was in Bristol, but in the comfort of my cave. My music cave. Sorry, that's besides the question. Yeah, so I basically was in kind of I with my friends basically, and went to the bathrooms, and you know you've got graffiti all over the bathrooms, and I seen this surname that was etched on the wall, which was Royce, REWS, and I seen it and I thought, I love that word. It looks really cool, and I've been searching for a name for a really long time. And I went home and I looked it up, and I discovered that it was a surname that meant the tall people or the giant people. And one of my mum's friends told me years ago that a band always becomes their name. And whilst, you know, I'm quite tall for, you know, for women, I think, but I don't imagine that we'll, you know, grow any taller. I think I've probably reached my maximum capacity at this age. But I do feel that it's sort of like aspirational to have a band that, you know, will help people and that people can maybe kind of be inspired by. So that's kind of why I thought the name would be really good. So I changed the U to a W because it's easier to find online. The songwriting process is very varied. I tend to start with chord sequences. So I'll either sit at the piano for a while and then I'll come up with a chord sequence that I really like, or I'll sit with my guitar and come up with a chord sequence I really like, and then I usually just make up words to go along with it. So it'll just be ad-lib sort of stuff. So I'll be like kind of thing to begin with, and then I start to realize what I'm, you know, maybe writing the song about. But generally speaking, all the songs mean something, so I usually have a concept of what I'm going to create around the song, and then the lyrics sort of usually come later on, just to make sure that the story makes sense. But yeah, that's the usual way. But sometimes I have a kind of theme, and then I'll take the theme and write about that particular theme, and then make the chords match the feeling of whatever that particular song was about. So I hope that answers your question. There is a lot more depth that I could go into about songwriting process, but I think that's just the, you know, I don't want to bore everybody. Well, not that it would, I don't know if it would bore people, but maybe that's what I'll do. I'll maybe do a bit of a songwriting masterclass or something like that, if you would be up for that, but we'll keep in touch. And yes, looking to see if there's any other things. Yes, I think so. That's really it, actually. There were a few other questions from previously. Someone had asked me if REWS is a real word in English, and if it could be used in Scrabble, for example. Unfortunately, the way that the band name is spelt is not actually a real English word, interestingly. But you could change it to REWS, like RUSE, if you want to actually have a REWS or whatever. So that's kind of, that's my answer to that one. So if there's any other questions, I will take them. And if not, then I may just say goodbye to you beautiful people, and make sure in 20 minutes time that you go out to your windows and you do a big clap. We could even do it now, actually, but just to kind of like hold up the highest regard to the NHS staff for their amazing work through this coronavirus. It's they're working really hard, and it's really quite intense. So give it up for the NHS. Woo! Please keep in touch. And yes, if you want to hang out again, I will be doing this tomorrow again on twitch.tv. It's a website that I have never used before, so if you guys are there, that would be amazing, because you give me the confidence to do these things. And it's such a pleasure to be able to spend a bit of kind of lockdown time with you. And I have a few other ideas in mind, so I'm going to do a games night, REWS games night, and I'll invite one or two or maybe three of you guys in, so we'll do kind of question series and things. So if you're up for that, just put a thumbs up. And yes, I'll definitely do the masterclass and things like that as well. So thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this evening and that you enjoy the rest of your day, and make sure that you stay positive. This is also a positive affirmation for today, which is think positive. And it's probably back to front on this. Yes, it is. Originally we had put this in the bathroom, and I just thought maybe it's not really appropriate, because anyway, thank you very much. You're all amazing, and yes, keep in touch, and yes, see you soon. Bye.